Hello and welcome back to the Coaches Show on SportsNetUSA.net, 90.1 FM KBPK in conjunction with Fullerton College TV. I am Ryan Osborn, and today it's a special edition of the Coaches Show, a preview show, looking ahead to the 50th anniversary celebration that will be held on Saturday for the 1965 National Championship team for the Fullerton College Hornets. That game will be the Key to the County game, the 93rd historic edition against Santa Ana College. In the last game for Fullerton College, they dismantled the Riverside City College Tigers, the number one team in the nation that was headed up by 218 yards rushing from Philip Butler, who was explosive on Saturday night. Jake Brito was also there, 77 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns, 2 receiving and 1 rushing. Trey Tinsley had 180 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. The Fullerton College Hornets only 1 turnover on the game and were able to force 4 different turnovers by RCC. 3 of them were interceptions by the defensive backs. Other than the hiccup at the beginning, the turnover by the Fullerton College offense, Fullerton was able to run away with it. RCC was not able to uphold any sustained pressure on the Fullerton College Hornets throughout the remainder of the game from the first quarter and on. Today I have 2 interviews, one with head coach Tim Burns of the Fullerton College Hornets and quarterbacks coach and recruiting boss Tom Marr, also of the Fullerton College Hornet staff. So now I'm catching up with head coach Tim Burns of the Fullerton College Hornets. Coach, your running game had more fire than a Kiss concert on Saturday. What allowed you guys to get into the gaps?
You know, our running back had a great game, and our O-line had a great game, and that's something we probably should have been emphasizing more, and we finally got it done, and kids blocked it out well, and we ran it well, and good things happened.
Where did Philip Butler come out of?
You know, we knew Philip Butler had the talent. We just, I don't think, have stuck with the run game and said, you're going to get it done, stay up inside, and, you know, he started to do that, and good things happened.
You know, your offensive line, storyline the entire game is how well they played and kept their spacing. What allowed them to make sure that the defensive line wasn't crowding up?
You know, they did a good job. Our goal going into that game was to throw the ball 20, 25 times, not 50 times like the week before. We figured if we could run the ball, we could do that, and we did that, and that's the type of football game we need to play. You know, throwing about 25 passes and running the ball about 50 times.
Now, Riverside was trying to predict your snap count and bring in their middle linebackers early. You guys were using the check downs. Is that something that you guys meant to do going into the game?
You know, that's just his read. If his read calls for it, then that's what he's going to do. So it worked out well for us.
The one hiccup on Saturday was that your defensive backs did give up 2 big plays on broken tackles. What are you guys looking to do in practice to make sure that that is corrected?
You know, the kids just got to step up and make the plays. You know, we've kind of, that's our one Achilles heel on defense is some of those big plays. If we could eliminate that, we're potentially coming close to a shutout in that game and that 1 turnover.
On defense, you guys held them to 21 points. They averaged 40 per game. What kept them from scoring so much?
We held them to 14. The offense gave up 1 of those touchdowns. So the kids played hard. The coach put in a good scheme for the week, and the kids played hard, and it worked out well.
What is the advantage of having the McCarthy brothers and Kletcher there monitoring the defense?
Oh, they're unbelievable. They stabilize our defense. Those 3 linebackers, they've played great all year, and you know, hopefully they'll continue playing great.
You guys did have 3 takeaways from your cornerbacks or defensive backs. What impressed you about their effort on Saturday?
You know, once again, it's something we hadn't done. We had 1 interception by a DB in the whole year, and we had 2 or 3 that game, so that worked out good.
What impact will Saturday's game have on the program?
You know, Saturday's game's a big game. It's the Key to the County. It's the longest rivalry. It's an important game, and I think our kids understand that.
Now, the 1965 game, or the 1965 team is going to be on hand on Saturday. How does their legacy still resonate throughout the football program?
You know, there's not that much connection, but I think it's always important to honor people that have accomplished great accomplishments, and it's always good to see them come to games, let the kids see who won a national championship in the history and the tradition of the program.
Do you make examples of previous success?
We always are talking about previous success. I think anytime you have a good program, you want to, accentuate the positives, and that's a positive, that 1965 team.
Now, how will Saturday's game impact your season going forward?
It's one game at a time. If we keep on winning game by game, we have a chance to make the playoffs still. We just don't have the destiny in our own hand, but we'll be fine.
Do you look ahead at the schedule as to who your opponents are going to be from now on?
No, we're just going to try to beat Santa Ana, and then we'll go worry about the next game.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations on the win, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
So I'm speaking with Coach Tom Marr, recruiting boss and quarterbacks coach here for the Fullerton College Hornets. Coach Marr, what do you look for in a recruit for the Hornets?
Well, you're looking for somebody that wants to go to college that obviously has height and weight and speed relative to the position they play. So you spend the whole winter evaluating kids and then eventually get to the point where you're recruiting them to come to your school.
How do you get in contact with recruits?
Well, they'll call you, they'll email you, they'll text you. In this modern era, we are actually overwhelmed with kids contacting all the coaches on the staff asking for an opportunity. And so the kids today have figured out, use Twitter, everything to try and get coaches to respond. And of course, we can look at a film of a high school guy, within 5 seconds of hearing his name, you can be looking at film of him. So it's different than the old days.
So has the technology advancement helped in the recruiting process?
Sure. But as the high school student needs to understand, as he has better access to us, we also are overwhelmed by numbers of kids asking for us to look at them. So, if this was 1993 and I was bringing, Leonard Green to Mount Sac to play for me from Maryland, that was quite unique. That this, he later played for USC and was their starting tailback. But that's one out-of-state kid from Maryland, high school coach calling me and sending him out here. Then nowadays, there's literally hundreds of kids out of that state and many others that are just contacting community colleges all over the country trying to find a place to play.
Now, in the past 3 seasons, you guys have had 3 different quarterbacks, all of them freshmen. What has allowed them to fit into the system so well?
Well, I've been here 9 years, and so we've had a lot of quarterbacks. But Joey Verhey last year was a freshman, but he spent a gray shirt year. So he was in the booth with us his freshman season, just growing and learning and developing. This is the first time, they say in 17 years, that Fullerton's had a true freshman starter in Trey Tinsley. So, what you're looking for there, as a true freshman kid, you're looking for a guy that's pretty mature and can handle all the stresses and take the beatings, that come along with the position. 3 years ago, we had Connor Bednarski. He was a 2-year starter. So anyway, we've had a lot of kids that have played and done well, but this is the first one right out of high school that started all year.
When you are recruiting players, do you recruit to the system or more to the talent?
To the talent. You try to adjust the system to it. We don't run a bunch of option now, but we've done that in the past. The different things you do to try and get a first down.
Talking about running the option, how much do you have to conform to what the college game is evolving into?
Well, we still like to get under center, and a lot of schools have just completely stopped. They've just given up. The hard thing, they want the quarterback to get under center, but they can't find anybody that's done it. Because at the high school level, everybody's in shotgun now. So then we have to guess whether they've got the footwork to play the position the way we want to play it. So sometimes a kid will come in that all state somewhere or all CIF somewhere around LA, and he'll come in and shock us that they can't do anything associated with playing quarterback. They've just been taking a gun snap and finding the laces and flicking it to somebody 8 yards away, and then we're asking them to make reads and keys and throw these different balls, and they can't do it, so they end up at another position. So you don't really know how good a quarterback's going to be until he's on your field and throwing with you. In these 4-year schools, they don't scholarship quarterbacks out of high school or junior college till they've seen them live.
Is it essential to take into account what system they are running? Because you just mentioned a moment ago, most of them are coming out of the gun.
Yeah, they're coming out of the gun. Like Trey Tinsley was in the gun, and all these kids were. Tanner Hodges, the kid from Texas, he was under center some in high school. So you just have to, sometimes you have to guess whether they can do it or not. And, the most sought after quarterbacks today are the ones that can run and throw. And, if a kid can run, then you run them and you do things with them. And if he can't, then you try to only do it in emergency situations. You remember about 4 years ago, Connor Bednarski, the South Pasadena quarterback, he wasn't a runner, but we beat Hancock in the last moment of the game with an 18-yard run where he did the read option and pulled it, and the last thing in the world they expected, he ran right by their best player. He didn't know he had the ball. And we win the game. So Joey Verhey, you don't really want to run Joey Verhey, the kid that's at Old Dominion now, but that's how we beat Saddleback a year ago, was running Joey in critical moments. But you got to understand, if you're going to let people hit your quarterback, they're going to get real sore, then get hurt.
So when you are recruiting and you see a type of player that suits your liking, do you go by preference, style of football?
As far as who gets to play?
As far as who you sign on.
Oh, well, you're going to have guys that just come out and say, "Can I try out?" and we'll give them a look. That California Community College is developmental football. So all these kids that grow up in this area, they're blessed to have these community colleges to go to. And they're all wonderful. And so you can go there and kind of figure out where you fit in, and you can play right away or maybe delay playing. I started gray shirting kids when I was offensive coordinator at Mount Sac, and back in 1991, I started gray shirting kids, and there wasn't a term for it then, and I remember calling it not red but gray, just being silly. And then, like Coach Craig Thorpe at LSU likes to joke with me that I invented the term because they suddenly discovered we had all these third-year kids winning at Mount Sac, and back then people kind of, some newspaper people thought, that this is exploitation of athletics, and it's not at all. You're just trying to help kids. Just like if you talk to elementary school teachers, they'll tell you to keep all the boys back in kindergarten and first grade and give them a chance to develop a little more. And this isn't anything different than that. It's too competitive, and a kid has to decide if he should start his clock this year, next year, decide what to do.
Well, thank you. It has been a pleasure. I have been with quarterbacks coach and recruiting boss for Fullerton College, Tom Marr. The 1965 season for the Fullerton College Hornets was a historic one. They beat Santa Ana City College twice during the season, once for the key to the county game and the other for the right to go to the national championship. In the key to the county game, the final there was 14-13 as they edged out that 1-point victory over the Dons, and the other bowl game is 28-15, not so close there as Fullerton College ran away with it. However, on both games, Santa Ana came out to quick first quarter touchdowns, so the Hornets found themselves in very early deficits, but they were able to bring it back on both occasions, as Fullerton College was not to be denied in that 1965 season. They beat Santa Ana on both occasions and were able to move on to the Junior College Rose Bowl to be held in Pasadena. Going into that game, Fullerton College was undefeated going into a postseason game for the first time in their history. They were under the direction of legendary head coach Hal Scherbeck. In only his fourth season, he had already brought Fullerton College to the national spotlight. In that Junior Rose Bowl game, Fullerton College went down early as Henderson Junior College from Texas, 9-0 on the season, had a quick lead at 9-0, but Fullerton College brought it right back, and they made sure that they scored 14 straight points and edged out that victory. They were the 1965 national champions. Coach Hal Scherbeck winning his first championship. He would go on to win two more, one in '67 and one in 1987. On Saturday, in the key to the county game, the rivalry will be renewed between both of the teams. It will be the 94th edition, so come out and support your Hornets, and you can see the 50th anniversary celebration of that historic 1965 team.
This has been The Coaches Show on SportsNetUSA.net
90.1 FM KBPK in conjunction with Fullerton College TV.